Since the inception of All Elite Wrestling in 2019, one of the most exciting things about the wrestling business has been wrestlers constantly jumping ship to the competitor. This has happened time and time again, and in these past few years, some major names have completely shaked up the wrestling world by jumping to the other promotion. And in this video, we are going to be listing the 5 most significant ones to jump ship and how it's impacted the business as a whole. Number 5. Adam Cole. The signing of Adam Cole came at a very good time in the history of AEW. This was just following the debut of CM Punk and was in the same night as another signing which we're going to talk about later in this video. Adam Cole was the face of NXT, and in the beginning of Dynamite's history, a big part of it was the Wednesday Night War. So to get the face of NXT, to get the face of the brand that they were competing with every single week, was a massive get for AEW. Adam Cole's run at first really didn't hit as much as people expected it to, and it was like that for quite a while, but ever since he aligned himself with MJF, Adam Cole has been a top act within the company and is in a better position than he's been in his entire run thus far. Number 4. Jade Cargo. One of the more recent big signings in this company war, Jade Cargo was the first homegrown talent, the first proper homegrown talent to jump ship to the competitor. She is one of AEW's strongest booked talents in their history. She was undefeated for almost her entire run there. She has an incredible win-loss record, and she was the champion for the majority of her run there too. So now that she's in the WWE, while she hasn't really done much so far, she is someone who is bound to be a top star for the WWE. She's interacted with some major stars so far, and while she hasn't made her in-ring debut yet, or really had a story yet, it's bound to be massive when she does, as it's endless. The opportunities are endless. Every major women's wrestler in the WWE is this sort of dream opponent for Jade Cargo, at least in terms of a story, because Jade Cargo has this aura about her which makes her an incredibly important get for the WWE. Number 3. Jon Moxley. We talked about one of the more recent signings, but now we're going to talk about one of the first major signings in this company war, one of the first stars to jump ship, and that was Jon Moxley. Moxley wasn't the first major star to jump ship, as Chris Jericho did it before him, but the difference between Jericho and Moxley is that Jericho was working with New Japan for around a year before AEW started. So while yes, Jericho working with an American promotion was a big deal, Jon Moxley was the first full-time WWE star to make that move. The first full-time WWE star, major WWE star to be more specific, to jump ship, to go to the competitor, and it was genuinely shocking. Jon Moxley shifted the paradigm. Jon Moxley changed the wrestling world when he went to AEW, and the run that he's had there has shown that AEW can be a true alternative to not only the fans but the wrestlers who maybe aren't being used to the levels that they think they should be. Moxley was a major star in the WWE as Dean Ambrose. He's a part of one of their biggest factions of all time, but ever since he's been in AEW, there's arguments that he's the ace of the company. He's a multi-time world champion. He has done it all when it comes to just being a top guy, feuding with every top star there is. Jon Moxley has the wins over major names, has main evented countless pay-per-views, and is one of the biggest stars in company history because the run he's had has been absolutely phenomenal. Number 2. Cody Rhodes. It doesn't get bigger than an executive vice president, a founder of the company, jumping ship to the competitor. When Cody Rhodes went back to the WWE, the wrestling world was in chaos. It was something that was expected for months before it happened, and those months were an insane time to be part of the wrestling community. Cody Rhodes was the hottest free agent in years. Cody Rhodes was the biggest signing that WWE have made in God knows how long. Arguably since maybe AJ Styles in 2016. It was absolutely massive when Cody Rhodes went back to the WWE. Cody Rhodes has been presented as a top star in the WWE. He is their top babyface in the company. He's a huge merch seller, and honestly, it was the best move for him. His run in AEW was an ups and downs journey, and in the WWE, back in the WWE, Cody Rhodes is one of their top stars and is a leading candidate to become their top star if he dethrones Roman Reigns at, say, the next WrestleMania. Number 1. Bryan Danielson. Arguably the greatest wrestler currently going today, Bryan Danielson's jump to AEW sent shockwaves across the wrestling world. Bryan Danielson joined on the same night as Adam Cole, and it was really the best time period in AEW history. Danielson was a huge name to get, a Mania headliner. Danielson has done it all in the WWE and honestly seemed like a lifer there, despite his grievances with the company time and time again. Danielson seems too big a star to jump, and after he stayed in around 2018, after he got cleared, a lot of people assumed that Danielson would retire in the WWE, but he didn't. He jumped to AEW, and since then he's been one of their biggest assets. Danielson has been one of their best, most consistent workers since joining the company. Has been one of their biggest draws, and honestly, it's a shock he hasn't been AEW World Champion yet. The fact that AEW get Danielson's last years is a privilege. It's one of the best things to happen to Tony Khan since running the promotion. To have Danielson giving the best he can in the prime of his career, in the peak of his career, at the end of his career, and fighting for AEW, going against their talent, teaching their talent, having all of these dream matches with the AEW locker room. It is something that Tony Khan should be grateful for, and honestly, it's been one of the best American runs in the 21st century.